Hello everyone, I'm back. Stanley Parable. You'll notice this looks a little different. That's because I'm going to go for a couple of the achievements that are related to manipulating the computer game clock. They're not necessarily related to that, but that's the way I'm going to unlock them. This should also solve some problems in the KOTOR playthrough, namely the movies. I'm doing a screen recording instead of a game recording. Let's just see how it goes. So, going to my Steam library, you can see the Stanley Parable. In our first session, we unlocked 3 achievements. Achievement. This is an achievement. We got that when we turned on achievements in the options menu. We got beat the game, complete the Stanley Parable. I think that one specifically unlocks when you get the freedom ending. And we got you can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. That's just from me mashing the spacebar trying to jump. So there's 7 others, and one of them is go outside. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 5 years. So this is pretty simple. I'm just going to set the date and time manually, and I'm going to run it up to 2026, 5 years from now. And with that, I am going to shut up. Of course, my computer bothers me with OneDrive ads. So I'm going to fire up the Stanley Parable now, and that should unlock the Go Outside achievement. One hopes. We'll see how it goes. My Steam overlay has not hit my different recording technologies, so one hopes that, I don't expect the overlay to be fixed, frankly, but we've now logged back in after 5 years, in theory. You begin the game. The end is never the end. We will skip the opening narration this time because it is identical to what we saw before. UI, office soundscape.wave. Okay, begin the game. That was weird. That was really weird. I wonder if that happened because it thinks it's been 5 years. I'm interested now. Click to skip.
This is the story of a man named...
Yes, there we go. Okay, here we are. So let's tab out to see if it unlocked. Yes, we unlocked 2 achievements. We got Go Outside, don't play the Stanley Parable for 5 years. And we also got Quit the Game and then Start it again. Welcome back. That's 5 out of 10. Amazing. Okay, now the others. Commitment. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. So we can do that as well. I'm going to change it back to the current date, sort of. But now I'm going to tell it that it is tomorrow, which is a Tuesday. And now I'm going to tell it it's today at 11:59 p.m. That's what I'm going to tell it. And then once we cross to midnight, the hope is that that'll be the start of the Tuesday. So we're just going to sit here for a minute, chit chat. I hope that doesn't bother you too. Okay, so now it says midnight. The Stanley Parable is running. So let's change the clock again. Let's tell it it's... So it moved to September 7th, 2021. Let's tell it it's 11:59 p.m., meaning the game has run for just about the entire duration of the Tuesday. I mean, you know I'm about achievements. Okay, it now thinks it's midnight on Wednesday. So in theory, that didn't work. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Do. Okay, let me say. Oh, no. Okay, we can't fudge that one with the computer clock. It seems we have to actually have the game running for 28 or a whole 24-hour duration to get that one. So we will leave that one be for now. There's one other one that I'm interested in grabbing, and that is this one. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. I think the, I wonder... Looks like other people are just like hacking their game files in order to get it, and there really is no legitimate way to get it inside the game. So that exists precisely to foil people like me, it would seem. And finally, there are a couple of others. They're sort of surprises. There's the speed run, which is to complete the Stanley Parable in under 4 minutes and 22 seconds, not including load times. And completing it means getting the freedom ending. We can try for that later. You have to be a few runs in for the necessary pathway to be open. So I'm not going to worry about that just yet either. Now, there are a couple of more we can go for. For the moment, I'm just going to jump back in and go for another actual ending. Let's resume the game.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Alright. There's an achievement for clicking door 430 5 times. So let's do that.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Right, here we go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, he wants a total of 20 more.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Alright, let's do it. I'm just going for it. I'm not going to count out loud this time. Anyway, you can see this game is really like playing with the idea of achievements.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417. Not even sure where that is. I guess we'll try and find it. Here we go.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
437. You got it, sir. Oh, did I go the wrong way? Here it is.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415.
Now, back to door number 437.
Oh, this is fun.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Back to 417 we go.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk. Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416. We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
The enthusiasm of whoever this narrator is just incredible.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430!
There it is.
Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
Okay, so let me see if that one popped. It did! Oh, look, it's all psychedelic. Click on door 435 times. Okay, so we got 4 left. There's commitment. There's unachievable. There's the speed run, and finally, 8. I mean, we all remember the demo, do we not? We'll have to see about where to get that one. 8. We'll call this the achievement run.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We'll keep obeying that first decision.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
Oh.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
We have an 8 here.
8.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no, this is what he was going to do instead.
Okay. I think we got it when he said 8. Yes, we did. Perfect. Okay, so that leaves Unachievable, Commitment, and the speedrun. I'm probably going to leave... I'll almost certainly leave Unachievable and Commitment undone. Because, I mean, one is literally unachievable. Unless you just hack the game files, which apparently some people have done. Commitment, you have to leave the game... You do have to leave the game running for 24 hours. There's apparently no way around it. So, for that one... That doesn't make for a very good YouTube video. I may do that just for my own sense of completeness, but we'll see. Alright, 2845. We are going for a real
Incredibly,
ending.
by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Down we go. So you can kind of see the way I'm systematically working my way backwards from obeying the narrator at every turn to disobey at the last decision, and then the second to last decision, and so on and so forth. That feels like maybe the best way to try and systematically get everything.
Deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay, so...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nope, we're going to escape.
Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Ah.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
So you say, buddy.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
What do you think? You guys think we're gonna die?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this really is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated. as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Or not, apparently. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Oh, this is great.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
They're getting existential on me in a way that I don't really love. Nature paintings. We're in a museum of sorts. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Yeah, looks that way. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The two doors. The set of two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Filing cabinets! Stanley's computer. The office. 1, 2, and 3. Office computers. Fun. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. The Stanley Parable credits. Written and designed by Davey Reedon and William Pugh. Additional level design, Colin Eddings and Jack Parsons. Programming, Jesus Higueras. Sound design, Robin Arnott, Eduardo Ortiz, and the impeccable Kevin Briding as the narrator. Model design, Andreas Jorgensen. Animation, Ry Soderbergh, Maxime Lebled. Stanley character skin, Taggart, Dean Darko. Additional music, Siddhartha Barnhorn, Kevin MacLeod. Webmaster, Shane Sweeney. Made using Source by Valve. Original music, Yanis Ioannidis, Blake Robinson, Christian Backer. Additional voice work, Leslie Staples, Aviva Pinchas, Jenny Coughlin. Original artwork, Simon Boxer, Mika Lati. Steam support, Jason Ruiman, Cassidy Gerber, Mike Dunkel, and Peter Wyckoff. Okay, we have a right and a left. Let's go left first. The office. Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. And the copy machine. Nice. Larger, words. If someone could use can't see the images because of all this text. If someone could just get rid of the text, maybe then I could see what the game is about. Writing all of this. Do you know who's doing that? Would you please ask them to stop? Because I'm just trying to figure out what this game is about. The point of the Stanley Parable HD remix is to lose. The point of the Stanley Parable HD remix is to win. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? These are screenshots of the Stanley Parable HD remix. More endings, fewer endings. More narrators, fewer narrators. More Stanley, less Stanley. Green light. In September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight, Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos, which were still enough to win the community's approval. Warzone. Huh. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Alien base awesome. Oh, this is fun. The office. The lounge. An early version of the lounge. From James. Subject, love the game. Greetings, omnipotent voice. I wanted to tell you I liked the Stanley Parable as much as I liked seeing a humorous... Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Dear narrator, how do you stay in shape? Okay, there are going to be too many of those. Well, I don't know, maybe. Are you gay? Nice. Urgent response needed. Nigerian email. Scam. Perfect. What do the lights in the control room do? I really want to know. Dear narrator, I appreciate the previous Stanley game as a work of art and a standalone title. I appreciate the credit given to art, which is why I'm eager to see a sequel, prequel, standalone companion game, because art needs a good censoring. How do you make a JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between a duck? Alright. Am I Stanley? Are you spying on me? I don't... Why? How? How's the game going? I hope it's as good or better than the first one, from a cool man. Final warning. There's a skeleton inside of you. There are more skeletons in this world than humans. Thanks and goodbye, Civ. Not wrong. Will playing the Stanley Parable help me make friends? I don't have any friends. Wow, congratulations. In line with our previous announcement... Oh, yeah. Open the attached file. For instance, on a scale of Max Ernst to Salvador Dali, how surreal will this game be? Were you born with a magnificent voice, or did you bargain with a magician to receive it? Finally, the most important question of all, what is Stanley's last name? Dead Strong Bad. How do you type with boxing gloves on? Ben. Oh... Will the game feature capybaras? I am Anthony Elias, business broker. Please partner with me in a very rewarding business venture. Details will be sent to you if you are interested. Treat is important, not spam. How will the Stanley Parable have infinite quests? How many endings? If the Stanley Parable is really going to let me go shopping, I hope it will have a fine selection of desert boots. Well, the thing I want to know is, what would you do if Stanley entered any other rooms? Greetings, omnipotent voice. Oh yes, I wanted to tell you I like the Stanley Parable as much as I like seeing a humorously small badger in swim trunks. Indeed, I liked it as much as I like walking in the park, watching the sunset, and dare I say it, pushing buttons. Are you a rock? Okay, we're almost circled through. Didn't take as long as I feared. Okay, what do the lights in the control room do? I really want to know. Okay, I think that gets us all just to one I couldn't finish. Hi, Mr. Narrator Guy. I have a question for you, sir, and it is, what is your message for today? Sincerely, Harris. Okay. Yeah, they're doing repeats now. .427. Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. It's actually kind of cool to see. Game design mock-up. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from this mock-up is still in the game. Freedom ending. This is the freedom ending as it existed in beta. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down, with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed the two endings together instead. Countdown room. An early version of the countdown room. Fun. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Nice. The game is now paused. Begin the game again, resume the game, options, return to menu, escape menu. For a long time we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Oh man. Meeting room. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. One option, first choice, obey, staircase, disobey, lounge. Maintenance to confusion ending. Number two options, two doorways to maintenance. First choice, obey, staircase, disobey, lounge. Maintenance to confusion ending. The other entrance would be hidden depending on how you entered. Number 3, one option. One doorway to maintenance in the lounge and the original back on track option. First choice, obey, staircase, disobey, lounge, maintenance to confusion ending. Number 4, vent. What about this? First choice, obey, staircase, disobey, lounge, vent, maintenance to confusion ending. Here we are, the apartment timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. And that goes back out here. That's good to know. The cargo lift. The second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. The cargo lift. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. Because that pinches back to the stairway. What else is in here? Zending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the fourth version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. Zending levers. These levers were originally a part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever, and the narrator would describe what color lever they had pulled. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is preparing a new version of the Stanley parable. Excuse me. Please rate your experience, I think is what those say. It's clearly quite a lot we have not seen yet. This pleases me. The Stanley Parable. Nice. Okay. Onward. Or, you know. Let's try this staircase. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Office clock. Boss's office. Screens from the development of the boss's office. Okay, this is where we wind up if we turn right at the start. Lovely. Employee lounge. Underground. An early version of the underground portion of the game. Narration outtakes. Kevin Briding, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game. I can't hear them very well.
Then he pushed the number 4. Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Does that sound plausible to you? Then he pushed the number 4.
Okay. I mean, I kind of heard it loop back, so... I think that covers all the paths. Except for that exit hallway. Is that right? Yes. Okay, let's check out the exit hallway.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
The Stanley Parable. On, off.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
I mean, what'd you expect? I think... that's the ending. So that's the museum ending. We got time for one more, I think, in this recording session. We have done, of course, our little miniature achievement hunt. Here we go. We're going to go all the way to the boss's office.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
All right. So the key here... Oh, shoot, I wasn't fast enough, I don't think. Let's, when we enter... Yeah, we can get out if we move fast enough. And now we go all the way back to Stanley's office. See, this door's open. Let's go inside. What have we found? You are now leaving. Escape pod bay, floor 760. 754. $755. $756. $757. $758. $759. And $760. Escape pod launch bay. Warning, entering the escape pod will initiate a relay that once triggered cannot be disabled or paused. Both the narrator and the player must be present in order for escape something out as intended. Do not proceed, do not proceed, do not proceed. Alright. Escape. I mean, I can't really see anything. There we go. Something seems not to be working. Ah, and we're back. Alright, well, that was quick. I think I have time for another one.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
It looked like my game might have actually
When Stanley
glitched.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
But it looks like the
Yet there
escape
was
pod
not a
was going to
single
explode.
person here either.
Because I proceeded
Feeling a
without
wave
the
of
narrator.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nope.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Ha!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
I wonder how we're going to do that.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Ha!
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
That was a good one.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
The end is never the end. Oh. Look, it's different. Well, alright guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Let's Play the Stanley Parable. Thank you so much for watching. It's not really that kind of game, obviously, but we got a few of the achievements. I'll do a little more looking into whether or not there's a decent way to get the other three. The completionist in me is just highly dissatisfied. But we got 3 more endings, and I really liked those. I think the escape pod ending didn't work right. I think something didn't render correctly. It looked like it was supposed to be showing the pod exploding, and I just kind of saw an expanding light radius at the very bottom. But the museum ending and the insane ending were both great. I am loving this game very, very much. It's a really nice little narrative break between my From Software excursions. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, I hope you'll give the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to discuss this or any of my other content, the best place is my Discord server. That link is in the video description. And if you want to support me or the channel, the best way apart from liking and subscribing is through my Patreon page. That link is also in the video description. Patreon supporters get to nominate and vote for the games they would like to see played on the channel. That we are currently working our way through Knights of the Old Republic. Once a game is selected, I just play it all the way through to the end, and then I have my supporters choose another. Pretty simple. We've played Parasite Eve and Mass Effect so far that way, and if you care to get involved in selecting what comes after KOTOR and after what comes after KOTOR and so on and so forth, you have that option. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. I do really appreciate your time and attention. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.